what were maybe some of the highest leverage decisions or like big breaks that you kind of got over the course of your career?
First of all, getting a CFO, I realized pretty quickly I'm not the best person with numbers and accounting, and I had needed somebody to do the details. When I hired Chris, who now is my business partner, as my first CFO, which I got very lucky on, going back to hiring random people. I just met him at a bank. He was working behind the desk of the bank. I was filling out a credit application. I hit it off with him, and I just said on the spot, "Do you want to be my CFO?" Because he had an accounting degree. So that was one where I got lucky. But when I hired Chris, it was like a glass of ice water in hell. I was like, oh my God, there's this whole 50% of my business life he can just think about, and I trust him and he can run that now. That was massive. Getting a personal assistant, I always thought of kind of as a douchey thing. But when I did it, it was incredibly nice to have somebody to shield me from just day-to-day administrative tasks. So, when my car insurance goes out, I'm not dealing with it. When someone wants to schedule something with me, I'm not dealing with it. It creates a bit of a shield around me, which has been really valuable. We have another partner, Jeremy, and Jeremy runs all our M&A. And so when a deal comes into Tiny, we've kind of built another machine. When a deal comes in, Jeremy and his team is going to screen it, and it'll get to me quickly if it makes sense. But I'm never going to see a deal where he doesn't see something. Maybe it's not a business we would ever buy, or not something we understand, or not a fair price. It's just not going to come to me at all. So those have been kind of the key things. And I always think it's other people making decisions for you, where you can have a simple algorithm to kind of predictably say, this is where you should say yes and elevate it to me. And if not, no. Tim Ferriss has a really good way of doing it. I think he says anything under X dollars, you guys can just make the decision and I trust you. Once in a while, you might be annoyed that they paid someone too much money for something, but it just saves you so much brain damage.